In 1950, a mathematician named Alan Turing asked one of the most important questions in human history: can machines think? That question launched a revolution, one that took decades of bold ideas, frustrating setbacks, and relentless persistence from pioneers like Geoffrey Hinton, Yann LeCun, and Yoshua Bengio. And now, that revolution has arrived in your classroom, your workplace, your living room, and your pocket. Welcome to Teaching and Learning with Artificial Intelligence, the podcast for educators, students, and lifelong learners who want to understand one of the most transformative technologies ever built and use it wisely. Every episode, we explore what AI really is, not the science fiction version, not the hype, not the fear, but the real, documented, evidence-based story of what AI can do, what it can't, and what it means for the people who teach and learn every day. We'll trace AI's history from the earliest algorithms to today's large language models. We'll tour the platforms reshaping classrooms around the world. We'll ask the hard questions about plagiarism, critical thinking, privacy, and equity. And we'll look ahead at where this technology is taking us and the choices we still get to make. Because here's what we believe: AI is the great equalizer when it's done right. A student in a rural school deserves the same personalized support as a student with a private tutor. An English learner at a community college deserves feedback at midnight, not just during office hours. A first-generation college student deserves the tools that have always helped the privileged get ahead. AI can help make that possible, but only if we understand it, only if we use it critically, and only if we insist that it serves everyone, not just some. Whether you're a teacher trying to figure out what to do about ChatGPT in your classroom, a student wondering how to use AI without losing your own voice, a policymaker shaping the next generation of education standards, or simply a curious human being living in a world reshaped by machines, this podcast is for you. Teaching and learning with artificial intelligence. Let's figure this out together.
Chapter 1. What is artificial intelligence? A historical overview. Key vocabulary. Artificial intelligence, AI. The simulation of human intelligence processes by computer systems, including learning, reasoning, and self-correction. Artificial intelligence has evolved from simple rule-based programs to systems that can recognize speech, translate languages, and generate creative content. Algorithm. A set of step-by-step instructions that a computer follows to solve a problem or complete a task. The recommendation algorithm used by streaming platforms learns your preferences over time and suggests content tailored to your interests. Automation. The use of technology to perform tasks with minimal human intervention, often replacing repetitive manual processes. Automation in manufacturing has increased production efficiency, but it has also prompted important conversations about workforce retraining. Cognition. The mental processes involved in gaining knowledge and understanding, including thinking, reasoning, and problem-solving. Researchers study human cognition to better design AI systems that can mimic how people process and interpret information. Turing test. A test proposed by Alan Turing to evaluate whether a machine's behavior is indistinguishable from that of a human in conversation. Although many modern chatbots can pass a basic Turing test, true machine understanding of language remains a complex challenge. Feature article. Artificial Intelligence: The Story Behind the Technology Reshaping Our World. When Alan Turing asked in 1950, "Can machines think?" he planted a seed that would grow into one of the most transformative fields in human history. Today, artificial intelligence is woven into nearly every aspect of modern life, from the apps on our smartphones to the medical tools saving lives in hospitals. But to truly appreciate where AI is going, we must understand where it came from. The term artificial intelligence was formally coined in 1956 by computer scientist John McCarthy at the now legendary Dartmouth Conference in New Hampshire. McCarthy, along with Marvin Minsky, Claude Shannon, and others, gathered to explore the idea that every aspect of learning or any other feature of intelligence can be so precisely described that a machine can be made to simulate it. This bold declaration launched a new scientific discipline. In the years that followed, AI researchers enjoyed tremendous enthusiasm and generous funding. Early successes included programs that could solve algebra problems, prove mathematical theorems, and play checkers at a competitive level. The General Problem Solver, developed by Herbert Simon and Alan Newell in 1957, was one of the first programs designed to imitate human problem-solving strategies. However, the field was not without setbacks. The 1970s and early 1980s brought what historians call the first AI winter, a period when funding dried up and public enthusiasm waned after AI systems failed to live up to their overpromised potential. Critics argued that researchers had underestimated the complexity of human intelligence. Yet AI researchers persisted. The 1980s saw a resurgence through expert systems, programs that encoded the knowledge of human specialists in rule-based formats to help solve domain-specific problems. Medical diagnosis systems, financial advisors, and industrial troubleshooting tools emerged during this era. By the late 1980s, however, another AI winter struck as the limitations of expert systems became apparent. The true turning point came in the 1990s and 2000s with the rise of machine learning, a paradigm shift in which systems learned from data rather than following hand-coded rules. Combined with the explosion of digital data and increasingly powerful computers, machine learning enabled breakthroughs that earlier generations of AI researchers had only dreamed of. In 1997, IBM's Deep Blue defeated world chess champion Garry Kasparov. In 2011, IBM's Watson won Jeopardy! Against the show's all-time champions. The most recent chapter in AI history began around 2012, when deep learning, a powerful form of machine learning inspired by the structure of the human brain, achieved stunning results in image recognition, speech processing, and natural language understanding. This breakthrough opened the door to voice assistants, self-driving cars, medical imaging tools, and the generative AI systems that today write prose, create art, and carry on sophisticated conversations. Understanding this history is essential for educators and learners alike. AI is not magic. It is a human creation with human limitations, human biases, and human possibilities. By understanding its origins, we are better equipped to use it wisely, critique it honestly, and shape its future responsibly. Review questions and answers. Question 1. Who coined the term artificial intelligence and when? Answer. The term artificial intelligence was coined by John McCarthy in 1956 at the Dartmouth Conference in New Hampshire, where he gathered with other scientists to explore the possibility of building machines that could simulate human intelligence. Question 2. What is the AI winter and why did it occur? Answer. The AI winter refers to periods primarily in the 1970s and early 1980s, and again in the late 1980s, when funding for AI research dropped sharply and public enthusiasm faded. These downturns occurred because AI systems repeatedly failed to meet overpromised expectations and could not replicate the full complexity of human intelligence. Question 3. How did machine learning change the direction of AI research? Answer. Machine learning shifted AI from rule-based programming, where humans manually coded all instructions, to systems that could learn patterns from large amounts of data. This made AI far more adaptable and capable, enabling breakthroughs in image recognition, language processing, and decision-making. Question 4. What role did the Turing test play in the development of AI? Answer. The Turing test, proposed by Alan Turing in 1950, provided an early benchmark for evaluating whether a machine could exhibit intelligent behavior indistinguishable from a human's. It inspired decades of research into natural language processing and human-computer interaction, even though it is now considered an incomplete measure of true intelligence. Question 5. Why is understanding the history of AI important for students and educators? Answer. Understanding AI's history helps students and educators recognize that AI is a human-made technology with built-in limitations and biases, not a flawless or magical system. This historical awareness promotes critical thinking and responsible use of AI tools in education and everyday life.
That's our episode for this week. Thank you for thinking alongside us today. Every conversation on this podcast starts from one belief: that understanding artificial intelligence isn't just for engineers and executives. It's for every teacher standing in front of a classroom, every student staring at a blank page, every parent trying to make sense of a world that changed faster than anyone expected. AI will not replace great teachers. It will not replace human creativity, human empathy, or human judgment. But it will, and already does, change the conditions in which all of those things happen. And the people who shape those conditions are the people who understand what they're working with. That's why we're here. That's why you're here. Before you go, we have one ask. Take something from today's episode into your classroom, your school, your community, or your own quiet reflection. Ask a question you hadn't thought to ask before. Share a tool with a colleague who needs it. Challenge an assumption, including one of ours. The future of AI in education isn't written in code. It's written in the choices that educators, learners, and citizens make every day. You are one of those people. Your choices matter. If today's episode was useful to you, please share it with someone who needs it, a fellow teacher, a student, a friend who's curious and a little nervous about what AI means for the world. Leave us a review wherever you listen. It helps more people find us, and every new listener is one more person thinking critically about these questions. You can find show notes, chapter resources, vocabulary guides, and discussion questions from our companion textbook at our website. Links are in the episode description. Next episode, we'll be exploring one of the most important questions at the intersection of learning and technology today. We hope you'll join us. This has been this week's episode of Teaching and Learning with Artificial Intelligence podcast. Have a wonderful week ahead, and we look forward to reconnecting with you next week. Keep thinking, keep questioning, keep learning.